Okay. So, that's a funny one. But what's going on in the world isn't so funny. And we can say that what's going on between the two women is a function of their vibration, of their thinking. And that's true. But life is more than a parking lot. And that's where the third unity principle starts to rub. That's a problem. And the reason it's a problem is we are confusing reality. Many people will tell you we create our reality with the activity of our thinking. And when they hear reality, they think that means we are creating our conditions. And when we make a conclusion that our conditions are not good, when we're not happy with our conditions, we begin to ask why. And the big question that we ask is, God, why? If God is good, God is all-powerful, God created all things, how come we have evil? And that is the number one question that has plagued all of Christianity for 2,000 years. Every sociologist, every philosopher, every theologian, every minister, every priest will tell you that the big problem with Christianity is, why does God permit suffering and evil? And when that question props up, as I'm sure it is for many Israelis today and many Palestinians today, they usually come up with three answers. And answer number one is that God doesn't care about me. God isn't good. If there is a God, where is God? I don't see God, and therefore we are alone. That's the view of the skeptic. And what I'm leading to is the third unity principle can lead to skepticism. And I'm here to ask you not to go there. Okay? I don't mean to paint a bad picture, but I want to paint a realistic picture so that when what Reverend Sandy teaches hits the concrete, you don't become skeptical. Okay? The second answer is if we claim that God is good and God is here, God is present in my life, God is active in my life, God cares about me, then another answer would be, well, the evil really doesn't exist. The statement would be something like, and I apologize, this is going to rub, whatever is real can't hurt me. Or whatever can hurt me isn't real. The evil is an illusion. Evil doesn't exist. We've heard that before, right? That COVID doesn't exist in my consciousness. That's something that I used to hear back in a couple years ago. COVID doesn't exist in my consciousness. I'm not wearing a mask. I don't need vaccination. We shouldn't be shutting down our churches. That's denial. That's illusion. I'm here to ask you, don't go there. There's a third option, is that God didn't create this evil. It exists, but God didn't create it. The devil created it. That's one option. Evil is created by a massive blue consciousness, old-style thinking. Humanity is somehow off track, and collectively we are out in the weeds. That's another statement. But unfortunately, there's a third way that we say that. And we say, well, I did it. I did it by the activity of my thinking. Don't go there. There's no need to go there. Don't allow that to happen, because when we begin to talk about the third unity principle, that my conditions are created by the activity of my thinking, then the next statement is, well, if my life is crap, I'm crap. That's not what the third unity principle says. And we will go back to that time and again. We will be drawn back to that, and we need to understand that we do not create our conditions by the activity of our thinking. What the third unity principle says is that we create our experience by the activity of our thinking. There's a world of difference between our experience and our conditions. When I ask, why did my baby get cancer? I'm asking about a condition, and it's real. When I ask about the world of experience, I'm asking God, how can this cancer be transformed into a greater world? How can it be transformed to a greater good? How can there be meaning in this? How can there be love emerging from this? That is the world of experience. It is how we respond to the world of conditions that we have a world of experience. Our experience is how we respond to conditions. Our experience is not conditions. There is no need to blame God. There is no need to blame anybody, and there's no need to blame ourselves. There's no need to deny anything. The question is not why did it happen, it's what am I called to do about it. By that we create our experiences, and by that things become real in the manifest realm. So let me give you an example of what happens when we shift from the question about conditions to the question about experience. Did you hear the final statement? We're turning it outward. The world of conditions is inward. Why did this happen to me, for me? When we talk about the world of experiences, we're talking about outward. What is my calling to do about it? And when that happens, as many of you know, compassion begins to flow within our selves. And that compassion is healing. That compassion is therapeutic. That compassion answers the question, why did this happen? It answers it for us. It creates an experience that is healing, that is transformative. I teach a class on Mondays. There's about 15 ministers. We're going through this organization's film, asking why? How can we turn outward? So, you see here a picture, Flemish painting, of someone who has the experience and asks, how can I respond? What type of experience will I have when I see the man beaten up alongside the road, and I'm a Samaritan and he's a Jew? So we have in our tradition the answer. We create our experiences, not our conditions, not our reality. We create our experiences by the activity of our thinking. Everything in the manifest realm has its beginning in thought. That is the proper language of the third unity principle that you will find that's published by Unity and Unity books and so forth. We create our experiences by the activity of our thinking. So I'm here to ask to not confuse reality with conditions with experience. Metaphysical Christianity, of which unity comes, unity emerged out of metaphysical Christianity. I'm going to read this because I want to be emphatic. Teaches from a perspective of one power and one presence, God omnipotent and God good. What this means in practical terms is that no condition and no tragedy, from the common cold to the most abominable thing we can imagine, is outside of the realm of God to be transformed into the greater good when we align with God and apply our Christ-like nature to the condition. We do not cause all conditions, and we cannot prevent all tragedies. But we have the capacity to respond to imperfect conditions and tragedies in transformative divine ways, ways that transform them into all good. That is our claim. That is the claim of the third unity principle. If God permitted evil to exist, and that is a fair statement, animals eat animals, nature explodes, fires burn, pestilence spreads. If God permitted that, God also equipped human beings with the capacity to respond. Not a capacity to complain, not a capacity to ask why, but a capacity to understand that there is a transformative power that we have been given to change whatever it might be that we are experiencing, our conditions, into a greater good. That is our claim. Jesus, it gives us hope. Jesus never said, why did this happen? He never said, why did this child die? He never asked, why is this person paralyzed? He never asked, why are my people oppressed by the Romans? Not that we know. No, Jesus came and said, your faith has made you well. Jesus came and said, you are free. Jesus healed. Jesus brought peace. Jesus affirmed. And we are called to the same pathway through the activity of our thinking. So my question is, shouldn't we, instead of be asking, why did this happen to us or for us, shouldn't we be asking, what should be done by us? That is a better way. And in a nutshell, that's my talk. And I don't know how much time I have left, to be honest with you. I've got some slides that are going to get us out into the weeds. That is what I wanted to say. Look outward. Look outward. Look for the solution. And it might be prayer. I'm not saying that it has to be something tangible. But I am saying that we don't ask why. Robert Kennedy, many people here remember, not the Robert Kennedy of a long time ago. You remember his campaign slogan? You remember? It was, some people ask, they look out in the world and they ask why. I look out in the world and ask, why not? It's very prescient. That is exactly, in a political statement, exactly what I'm advocating for here. Don't ask why. Ask why not. I'm going to blow through 3 slides because I put them in there and I didn't know how this talk was going to evolve. And I'm writing another book, and this is the first time I've actually shared this material. And I'm just going to, what I want to say is, how do we get to a consciousness of experience that is transformative? How do we get there? Okay, that's the question. And it begins with Unity's understanding of human nature. And for those of you, have you taken the 12 powers? Do you know what the 12 powers are? They're 12 faculties, basically, of how the subconscious mind works. It's Unity's understanding of the human mind. And the assertion is that there's 12 functions, or 12 powers, 12 faculties. And these you'll see that they're there. They are in pairs, and I have arranged them in a certain way. But what I want to stress is that imagination and faith, which are in the head, are perfected as order and strength. Faith being Peter's, strength being Andrew, our brothers. When faith is perfected, we have strength. And when imagination is perfected, we have order. And if I were, this should be a talk by itself, but the point is there's this capacity of human beings to transform or to perfect their human nature. And everybody wants to be strong. Everybody wants to have order in their life. And the teaching is that we get strength and order through faith and imagination. Okay? We have 2 other faculties, life and renunciation. And life is their generative capacity. It's our capacity to procreate. And renunciation is our ability to let go of that which has become crystallized and no longer serves us. But the point is they are perfected as zeal and power. The Greek word for life is zoe. We know it as a woman's name today. Zoe, literally in Greek, means life. When life is perfected, we have zeal. When life is old and crusty and crabby, we don't have much zeal. Okay? Renunciation, it's a little less intuitive about renunciation, but a renunciation is letting go of that which is crystallized. And when we let go of that which is crystallized, we become powerful. Now, life and renunciation go together just like the pruning of a plant. When we prune a plant, we let go of the dead leaves, we have this blossoming of life. But point is, everybody wants zeal, everybody wants power, and the way we have zeal and power is by quickening or perfecting the powers of life and renunciation. And then the other two that you'll see off to the left, desire and understanding, we know them in unity as will and understanding. Will is basically our ego, and understanding is our intuition. And ego, when it's perfected, here's the key. Ego, in the perfection of ego, is love. And the perfection of understanding is wisdom. So my point is what we have over on the left is our capacities as human beings. What we have on the right are our conditions as a human being. And we do have that capacity to become orderly, strong, loving, wise, filled with zeal and power. We have the capacity to be transformed into creatures that can take devastating evils and suffering and transform it into higher levels of good. Now, I'm going to close with a verse from Psalms, the book of Psalms. You might have heard this psalm. God makes my feet like, it's hinds feet in the traditional language, like deer's feet, and sets me on my high places. There's a teaching that basically says, what is the psalmist talking about? Deer's feet. And those who live in the mountains and watch the activity of deer and animals who have this unbelievable capacity to stand on the cliff of a mountain and seem to walk around them, how do they do that? How do we go into high places and not fall down? And the psalmist says the way we do it is our front feet are perfectly aligned with our back feet. That is what a hind or a deer will have. The key to the deer living in high places is alignment. And the key for us to living in high places is not thinking, not feeling, but alignment of thinking and feeling with God in mind. When we are aligned in both thinking and feeling with God, then we are like a deer jumping a fence or a deer climbing up into a mountain. We have a capacity that is almost unbelievable for a human being. It's all about alignment. Most of us, when we study the third unity principle, say, yeah, it sounds good, but is that for real? Is it really, I'm going to manifest money? We have this ambivalence. We have this hesitation. Ask yourself, really? An atheist once said to me, the heart cannot accept what the mind rejects. The wisest thing he ever said. The heart will not accept what the mind rejects. If you reject the third unity principle, it's not going to work. You're going to have ambivalence. You're going to have conflict. Your rear feet are not going to be aligned with your front feet. Where we want to be is human beings that are fully aligned with God mind in both consciousness and subconsciousness. That is where we want to be. And the only way to get there is to probe deeper into the 5 unity principles to find the underlying truth that hits bedrock and we say, yes, that works for me. When we probe deep and we let go of the misunderstandings, when we let go of the conditions and we focus on the experience, then the reality will emerge. That is what we need to do with these 5 unity principles, is probe deep to the point where they settle in our conscious and our subconscious mind in such a way that we are transformed into a higher level of being. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's get ready to move into some time of meditation. So I invite you to either close your eyes or cast your gaze downward. And with your breath, bring yourself to this present moment. Feel within you that divine presence that's always there. Allow yourself to connect with your deeper consciousness. Feel the presence of that consciousness all through you. Feeling that presence is divine mind. Allow that sensation to be fully present. Feel it in your cells, in your fingers and your toes. With each breath that you take in, each breath of grace that moves us through our day. That consciousness that keeps us present on our experiences. Our experiences that highlight and bring light to those 12 powers within us. The feeling of life and zeal and renunciation and power. Desire with love. Understanding to wisdom. Imagination to order. And faith to strength. See those connecting within yourself. Knowing that the divinity within you is always there to remind you of the connection. To have you stay focused on the gift of this present moment. Let's take a moment to feel the gift of that presence in the stillness. You are a radiant spark of the divine, moving through the day with grace, compassion, and love. Carry that with you through this week. And slowly bring yourself back to the space where Joe will sing a song with us.
You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of spirit on earth, and who I am, and all I do is a blessing to the world. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit on earth, and who we are, and all we do is a blessing to the world. We're a blessing to the world. We're a blessing to the world.
Thank you. So, let us now join together in our affirmation for abundance. We affirm. I'm sorry, I just lost my place. 2 words in, I lost my place. We affirm infinite abundance and prosperity, continuously flowing into and within this community through spirit and expressing through infinite channels. And we affirm the wisdom, understanding, and discernment in all matters as Spirit guides us along our path. Amen. And we'll have another song with Joe.
So this one everybody should know. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river in my soul. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river in my soul. I got love like the ocean. I got love like the ocean. I got love like the ocean in my soul. I got love like the ocean. I got love like the ocean. I got love like the ocean in my soul. I got joy like a fountain. I got joy like a fountain. I got joy like a fountain in my soul. I got joy like a fountain. I got joy like a fountain. I got joy like a fountain in my soul. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river in my soul. Well, I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river in my soul. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river in my soul. Lord, I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river in my soul.
Thank you. Okay, we have some announcements. So at 5:30 on the 25th, we are continuing with our basic principles class. So principles, not dogma, starts here at 5:30. And then at 7, we have our Wednesday evening service, midweek service. And on next Saturday, we are doing cleanup with St. Mark's, cleanup day. I think you'll have to check the bulletin when it comes out. I'm not sure whether it starts at 9 or 10. I think it's 10, but don't hold me to that, so just check. Or email Reverend Sandy. Next Sunday, potluck, our infamous potlucks, yay. So everybody's invited, and that'll be after the service on Sunday. Zion Soup Kitchen is coming up, and I have a sign-up sheet. We still need some salads and spaghetti and garlic bread. Can you tell? It's Italian night. So I will have this here if anybody wants to sign up for any of those. That would be great. Bring them, then that you would bring them the first Sunday in November. And our next sound bath is going to be on November the 8th. So I understand really that goes really well. People really enjoy those. So think about putting that on your calendar. And this is the time where we say goodbye to Facebook. I'm not sure if Facebook was with us. Oh, they were. Hi. We were having some technical difficulties earlier, so thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful week and blessings.